doing that again. That was stupid. Merry Christmas, happy holidays, happy December 1st. Welcome to your horror advent calendar. So what's going to be happening here this month is we have our horror advent calendar here, and every day we'll be pulling out a different Christmas or just like winter related horror movie, and you'll have one festive horror movie every day leading up to Christmas. So what we're gonna do is pull the movie out of the tree here, and then we're gonna make these little ornaments out of it and hang it on our horror Christmas tree, which is just a Halloween decoration that I have repurposed for the next holiday. Okay, so day one, December 1st, let's see what we've got in our advent calendar. I can't find the one. Oh, there it is. Day one. Okay, day one, we've got the man himself, Krampus. So let's see, we're gonna look on Letterboxd and read the summary there. So Krampus came out in 2015. It was directed by Michael Dougherty. I hope I'm saying that right, Dougherty. And here is the Letterboxd summary. You don't want to be on his list. A horror comedy based on the ancient legend about a pagan creature who punishes children on Christmas. So yeah, I think that's pretty accurate. So we have Toni Collette and Adam Scott playing the parents of a young boy played by MJ Anthony, who he's like big into Christmas, big into Santa. But his cousins show up and are like shitting on him for loving Santa Claus and believing in Santa Claus. So he rips up his Christmas letter, throws it into the wind, and that sort of summons the Krampus to come and fuck their shit up. So Krampus, I feel like a lot of people know him as like the anti-Santa. The first time I heard about Krampus was in a Supernatural Christmas episode from like season 3, I think. I don't know what year that was. So Supernatural taught me about who Krampus was before I saw this movie. I think I might be in the minority here, but I remember the first time I watched this movie, I really liked it. I thought it was super fun and festive and silly. But watching it this time, I didn't like it as much. I don't think I'm as big of a fan anymore. Let me just see on Letterboxd what the reviews are like. Okay, so it has like an average rating of 3 out of 5 stars, so it seems like most people like it. So I do think I'm in the minority here. And I see a lot of my friends like it as well, which is fine. We all have different opinions, and that's beautiful. But let's start with the things that I do like about this movie. Some things that I really like. I love Toni Collette. She can do no wrong. She will do no wrong. She has done no wrong. She's perfect. She's excellent in this. I also love Adam Scott. I think he's just delightful in this movie. I love him in these silly horror movie type roles. I don't know if any of you have seen Little Evil. He's great in that. That's a really funny, fun horror movie. I highly recommend. And Allison Tolman is in this movie as well. She plays Toni Collette's character's sister. You may recognize her from the FX show Fargo. She's in the first season of that. She's just incredible. I was so happy to see her in this movie. And really all the performances are good. I don't really have any complaints about the acting. I think everyone does great with what they were given to do. And there is like a lot of interesting stuff in this movie. I think Krampus himself is really scary. Like he did not have to be that scary. But there's these shots of him like jumping over housetops, and it's just terrifying. He's big and gnarly, and I think that's really fun. Another cool thing in this movie is they have this little animated section when they're going back and giving the history of the Krampus, and I think that's really cool. I love when movies do stuff like that. And ultimately, even though I do feel like this movie has its really mean, nasty parts, when you peel that back and sort of get past that, I think there is a really sweet family story there, which is what Christmas is all about, isn't it? And in particular, I really like the relationship that Adam Scott's character has with his son. I think it's sometimes rare to see a father-son relationship that's really just like tender and warm and sweet like this. So I always appreciate that when it's shown in a movie, and especially a Christmas movie. And one more thing I loved about this movie is the ending, which I'm not going to get too much into because I want to keep these relatively spoiler-free, but it sort of takes a turn in the end that I certainly appreciate. Now, as for the stuff I didn't like so much, this movie feels really mean sometimes. And like, okay, I'm not saying that characters can't be mean in movies or else I won't like it. That's not what I'm saying at all. It's just, I guess a better word for it is that it feels really dated. There's a lot of like gross gender norm stuff happening with the cousins here. They're two girls who like to hunt and they like football, and that's the punchline a lot of the time, and I don't think that's necessary. There's also a lot of classism coming in with this family. They're like the Hicks coming into town and we're laughing at their mac and cheese. And I'm like, this is your family. It just feels weird and strange to me. We also get some light hatred of foreigners with the grandma of the family not speaking English for a majority of the movie. And it seems like only the grandson can speak to her in her language, which is odd. Which also leads me to my least favorite character of this movie, who I believe is supposed to be the aunt of Toni Collette and Allison Tolman's character. She has all these one-liners that I think are supposed to be very funny and get big laughs, but they just don't work for me.
Looks like Martha Stewart threw up in here.
One of them being an anti-Semitic joke that just hits like a lead balloon, sucking all of the air out of the movie. I was really turned off by it. It's just a lot of jokes like that and stuff that I feel like is unnecessary and not funny and makes me like the movie less. Which brings me to the last thing I don't really like about this movie, which is that it's sort of tonally jumbled. We have Krampus, like I said before, is really scary, like genuinely scary. And then he has all these minions that show up, some of which are also terrifying. We have this Jack-in-the-Box guy and this bear toy that are gnarly and scary. And then we have these like goofy gingerbread men who I want to say are making jokes, but I think they're just making noises like ooh. Which I think horror and comedy often work together really well. Some of my favorite horror movies are also comedies, but in this movie it just doesn't mesh well together. It feels like they're working against each other rather than complementing each other, and it just makes the movie sort of jumbled and confused. So, Horror Advent Day 1, Krampus, super festive, super fun if you can look past the sort of mean, nasty bits. You got your Christmas music, you got your forced family time, you got your Krampus. What could be better? So this is gonna go on our tree as our day 1 ornament. Soon this will be filled up with horror Christmas or horror winter movies, okay? If you check it out, let me know down below. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Am I a little wussy baby for thinking it's mean? Probably. I hope you do check it out and enjoy it, and I hope you keep tuning in for new holiday horror movie recommendations every day leading up to Christmas. Happy holidays, and I will see you tomorrow.